Welcome back, y'all. Finally got a break in the daily rainstorms that occur in Florida. So I thought it'd be a really good idea to go out for a gravel ride and pump out a quick video. And that being said about my gravel bike, I'm ultimately wanting to make a review of my entire setup, how it's doing, and how I feel about this build on my Diamondback Override. Stick to the end though, because you may be surprised of the opinion I have on this build. Now, as you can see, I went ahead with the drop bar conversion on this bike using the Redshift top shelf drop bars that I've reviewed in the past, and also the Shimano Tourney 2x7 STI shifters on here as well. But everything else on this build is the same from my last video about the Diamondback Override, so nothing else has changed. So now that I spent a really long time using the Shimano Tourney shifters and finally got a double setup so I can use the left shifter, I can definitely say that this is a very good shifter set. So don't sleep on it, don't knock it until you try it. But if you have a setup where it's more of an all-road setup that you have, or gravel, and you're gonna be in the hoods most of the time, I highly recommend these shifters. I will say though, on occasion, it's very rare, but sometimes if you half effort your shifts, it can get stuck in between the cogs internally. I don't know how to describe it, but you know what I mean. Like, it doesn't go all the way to the next gear going up, but when you use the thumb shifter, it's precise every time, hasn't skipped a beat. I wanted to stop real quick to get a little more in depth on the Shimano Tourney shifters in regards to the ergonomics. But I will say it feels totally familiar regardless of the thumb shifter. I mentioned that again in the previous video, but this is a true long-term experience with these shifters. Them being all black kind of fits a modern conversion. So I know that silver looks better in my opinion, but the all black does fit quite nicely. And the thumb shifters are just great. Usually when I'm riding gravel, I'm not in the drops, so I didn't feel like I was lacking using the thumb shifters. And again, they're so precise. Also, you can rest your thumbs on there. So if it gets really chattery on the gravel, you're not going to get accidental shifts, which is good because it's not too stiff where it's hard to shift and it's not too loose where accidental shifts occur. And I do have medium to large hands and they just fit quite nicely. And my thumb rests in between the thumb shifter portion and the shifter cable itself. If it gets a little too bouncy, my thumb can get a little bit of chafing on there, but it's nothing too extreme, and eventually you'll form a callus and get used to it. Do they have a plasticky feel? Yes, I can't deny that, but it still works. I did mention that once in a great while, a misshift does occur where if you're just not putting enough effort shifting up only, it sometimes gets stuck in between and you have to downshift or push the upshift again. And it seems like it only occurs really when you're in the drops trying to upshift because the swing is kind of far. I have longer fingers, so it does work, but for someone who has shorter fingers, maybe smaller hands, it can be a struggle. And then you wind up having to fiddle with it, shifting up again or downshifting. There is enough grip in the front of the hood, so if you like to have that arrow hood position, there's plenty of grip, and that's what I do really like about them. The rubber feels great. It feels like any vintage Shimano STI shifter I've used in the past. Now, there are gear indicators on the hoods, and I know that's not the coolest thing ever, but when you're riding gravel, it really comes in handy. So you don't have to really drop your head and not see where you're going. You could just glance down and check out the window and see what gear it's in. Now, I gotta get going because I see the storms rolling in. Also, my phone keeps overheating. I can't believe it, where I'm wearing all black. It's 90 degrees out here in Florida. I'm totally fine and my phone can't handle it. Oh, and then with the shift pattern, it's normal Shimano pattern. So if you shift up with the lever, it can go up 2 gears. And then with a thumb shifter, you just go down 1. Finally, using the double front, it does have trim like normal as well. A really good thing with the simple 7-speed setup is it's gotten quite dirty and it doesn't misshift at all. It's really surprising. I've heard a lot of people when they're at like 11 speed, 12 speeds, it's so finicky, especially when grime and dirt gets into their drivetrain. This has been great. So the elephant in the room about this build is the quill stem adapter is super high, and it's so high that to me, it's just starting to look really ugly. And that's ultimately the problem with this build. The geometry of this bike, it just wasn't meant for a drop bar conversion. I know they didn't design it with the drop bar in mind back in the day, and it really shines with the flat bar setup that it used to have. So ultimately, I'm probably gonna convert this back to a flat bar. And if you notice the time frame between the last upload with this bike and this video, that reason is because I kept tinkering with it. I tried everything, trust me, to make it comfortable. A shorter stem, which is what I have on it now because I had a longer 110 millimeter stem. Raising it, lowering it with my old quill stem adapter. Eventually I bought this one because it has more length, and it's pretty much at the limit, and it's still just uncomfortable. It's an uncomfortable build. My lower back screams after just an hour, and in fact my back isn't doing too well now. The thing with these shifters is they don't have barrel adjusters like some other vintage STI shifters that I've seen before in this style. So I had to use barrel adjusters, and now that I'm hooked up to these cantilever brakes that I've used before, I had to use barrel adjusters for those as well. So I got 3 barrel adjusters going on right now. Now the catch with these conversions is it depends on the individual. Everyone's unique, and this is just not working out for me, but it could work for you. So even though I kind of feel like it was a failure here, but with documenting it and showing that a drop bar conversion can take place and it is possible with this bike. But ultimately, do I recommend the Diamondback Override for a gravel bike conversion? It depends on how flexible you are and everything. I don't recommend it. As a flat bar, it shines. Again, it's really good. I really like it as a flat bar. But a drop bar, I feel like with that down sloping top tube. Oh, so I forgot to evaluate more on what I mean by the down sloping top tube. Here's a quick comparison of my Rally Technium. You can use the line on the wall as a reference point. The top tube is horizontal, completely flat. But if you look at the Diamondback, you can see that the top tube slopes downwards towards the bars from the seat. And the super low stack height, even with the assistance of the drop bars and the quill stem adapter, it's just too aggressive, especially when you hit rougher terrain. It just kills your back. But now I'm coming up to this grassy area I did discover, and I'm gonna play around a little bit. Oh, I didn't quite get to the top, but I'm gonna walk my bike up and ride it down. Man, that's what I love about the gravel bike and the all-road category is you can get down to business, go fast, do a fitness ride, but if you want to goof off, you don't have to swap bikes, you just go for it, and then right back to business. But most likely, I think I'm leaning more towards I'll convert this back to the original style and then maybe sell it, and I'll just keep trying. There's got to be something out there that's going to work for me. preferably steel, but I may compromise on frame material just to get it to work for me. But I will not compromise on budget. That's the thing. You're not going to find me, next thing you know, having a $3,000 gravel bike here. That's even cheap compared to the other ones. Oh boy, a lot of sand. Let me stop real quick, conclude this video, because I am almost out of water. It is hot, and the storms are rolling in even closer. Oh, and I'm hearing thunder too, so I really got to boogie after this clip. But ultimately, thank you so much for joining me. Hopefully this shines some light on this conversion, if it's gonna possibly work for you or not. It didn't work for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean it won't work for you. Everyone is different, so just gotta tinker with it. And for now, this didn't work out. Thank you so much for supporting, liking, and commenting on my videos. I appreciate it. Stay tuned though, the next video is gonna be about the Raleigh Technium road bike from 1986. Once again, thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.